Welcome to another episode of In My Closet with Sacred Hindsmith. How are we all doing tonight? Oh my gosh. Okay, today we are going to be talking about classics. Who loves a bit of Pride and Prejudice? Who loves a bit of Flowers from 1987 or whatever they fucking called the number? I forgot. 1969 or some shit. Who loves some heat waves? Give it up. Give it up for heat waves. Any fans? Okay. Any fans of Passerine? If you guys already didn't get like jump scared by the intro, we are we are talking about books. I love books. Who loves books in chat? Like who? I love books. That's such an alien thing to say, but like I was talking to my professor this morning because I read The Great Gatsby again. And I like The Great Gatsby. I get it. It's a book written by a guy who probably didn't write the damn thing. But I like The Great Gatsby. I think it has a good message, especially for today's standards. My favorite scene from The Gay Gatsby, yeah, is the fucking like they're a rotten bunch or whatever Nick says that it gets some vibes. I made a controversial post on Tumblr that got like probably like two people upset. And it was like I said some shit like this book boring as hell. It doesn't even have toxic yaoi because I was I was trying to be funny. And I cannot lie, it was kind of boring. It was kind of boring. It reminds me of Pride and Prejudice. It's just a bunch of rich people going to like each other's houses. It just felt like that for the most part. I get it. It's about the American dream, but I don't gaff. I feel like it, like what's it called? It's not like it's a good book. It's you can tell why it's a classic. Scott F. Fitzgerald like did his big one with that one, but I don't know. It's like one of those books for me. Like I have to reread it because of like the life situation I am right now. Not because it's like it's good. It's because it just speaks to me. Like I don't know. I still feel the same way about The Great Gatsby. I think it's boring as fuck, but it's a good story, and I like Daisy. That's my favorite character from. I think what's it called? Another favorite book. Oh my god, it's Jane Eyre. I always wanted to talk about Jane Eyre on the channel, the main channel, the big S, but I can't do like I've restricted myself from doing fandom content. Ignore the Secret History fandom. We don't talk about that. But oh yeah, the Secret History. Wait, that's okay. That's on the back burner. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Jane Eyre is one of my favorite books, literally ever. I read that shit in like a month, and because I was going through school. But Jane Eyre is so fantastical. I forgot the fucking. He's like Mr. Rothschild, Rochester, whatever. I don't. I hate that. I hate that man. The fucking bird that I hate. I hate him so fucking bad, bro. I hate him. He was. I based David off him because I hated him so fucking much, and he pissed me off the entire time. But yeah, David and Mr. Rochester, they're like twins. They're like coincided with one another. He has his wife like hidden in the attic. David has some fucked up shit going on. They're twins. They're buddies. They invite each other to the tea parties. But in the beginning of Jane Eyre, she's at the wait, I guess spoilers for Jane Eyre if you for a 200-year-old book, but for Jane Eyre, she basically just like gets born into like this wealthy ass family, but like they don't even fuck with her. Like her cousins don't like her and they bully her and like they rip her hair out and stuff and like they hit her and they take her book or something and they smashed it and like her cousin, I think it was like Jack or something or John, yeah, and she yells at her like adoptive aunt, I want to say. Like it's she Loki did adopt her, but like it's still like her aunt in a way, or yeah, I guess her aunt. And she's just like, you are gonna rot in hell for what you did to me. And her aunt is just like, yeah, whatever, kid. And then and then like Jane gets like sent to like a Loki orphanage, but they say it's a boarding school, but we all know it's an orphanage. And the best part is she has like this best friend. I forgot her name. I want to say Harry Styles, but I genuinely just forgot her name. Her name just reminded me of Harry Styles, but I forgot her name. I know it said like it's Henrietta or something like that, right? And it's gonna come to me in the middle of the episode, but like Jane and Harry Styles was just like they were locked in, and then she fucking dies of like the flu or whatever, or like she could like contract something, and like Jane is like sad like the rest of the book because of it. Well, because of other stuff too, but it's mostly because of her death. But so she grows up, she learns French, she eats the worst food imaginable at this orphanage. Like I think they have like a scene where they revolt over like the bread that they're eating. Or maybe that's Madame Bovary. I forgot what it was. But yeah, Jane, she locks in. She's like 18 at this point, I think. It's 10 years later. And she's like, okay, I want to become a teacher or a governess, which is like a fancy term for like teachers for rich kids. And she's like, okay, I want to become a governess. I want to make money and then get over my childhood first love type shit, which is very real. When I read the book, I was just like, this is so fucking real. This is so. I read it on my walks to school. It was amazing. And Jane Eyre, I think it's like Rochester Hall. I forgot what the actual hall like place is named. I just know that when she pulled up for Adele to teach, like, because I think she had an ad and then someone answered it, and it's like Rochester Hall. And I think, oh my God, the housekeeper hired Jane. But like, I don't think Mr. Rochester hired Jane directly. I think he was the housekeeper. Or like the housekeeper of Adele. Yeah, or like Adele was like a babysitter, basically. And Adele is just like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Like, you are like my new mom. Because I'm low-currently an orphan. And I love Jane Eyre so freaking bad, bro. Wait, hold on. Okay, I pulled out my copy of Jane Eyre. Like, here's some page A somewhere. So Jane Eyre is like the best book ever written. And it basically this entails Jane and Mr. Rochester's will they, won't they, even though Mr. Rochester is literally like 45. He's definitely middle-aged. And Jane is literally like 18. Like, I think they mentioned it in the book, which is like so weird because I think what was her fucking name? The housekeeper, or like the keeper of the house. She's just like, are you sure you shouldn't be liking this guy because he could literally be your dad? And Jane is just like, no, it's fine. No, it's not. Wake up. You're delusional. Don't fall in love with this guy. Okay. Sorry, I'm very attached to Jane Eyre, bro. Okay, let me recount this in my head as to the best of my abilities. So I forgot all the characters' names besides like Jane and like her cousin. So we're gonna have to log in for this one. So Jane, she becomes the governess for Adele, and she's like teaching Adele like English, I think, or like because like Jane knows French, and so Adele doesn't know, like, she doesn't know English that well, so they're teaching each other in a way, right? And so apparently Mr. Rochester has this lady that is into him. I forgot her name, but let's call her Charlotte. So Charlotte is really into Mr. Rochester because he's hella wealthy. Like, he has hella money. He has hella money. And Mr. Rochester, well, he invites Charlotte's family over, and like her sister, and like all this, right? And Jane for some reason. And Adele, and Charlotte is just like, why the fuck is your kid here? Like, this is so awkward. And Jane is just like, yeah, this is awkward too. And she like hides behind the curtains for some reason. And so Mr. Rochester, he literally puts on like, I think it's like a fortune teller's costume, and he's just like, oh, Mr. Rochester is like in love with you type shit. Like, do you love him? And Jane is just like, no. She's like, I don't know. She does not gaff, bro. She literally just wants that paycheck and like that free room. And Mr. Rochester reveals himself, and he's just like, you're in love with me. Like, I know you are. Like, you're just like hiding behind a disguise. And Jane Eyre, she looks him like straight in the eye, and she's just like, I don't like you. You're ugly as fuck. You are ugly, bro. Like, I think there's a scene where it's just like, he asks her, and he's just like, do you find me attractive? And she's just like, yeah. She's like, yeah, sorry. And my favorite thing from that whole scene is the fact that, like, Jane you can tell she does not gaff, bro. She does not gaff about this man at all. And what's the best part is that afterwards, Jane, she confronts him. She's just like, why would you do that in front of Charlotte? Because he, like, mocks Charlotte for, like, something, I forgot, for, like, wanting him for money. And they all leave. And Jane is just like, you fucking idiot. That was, like, your one ticket to a girlfriend. Why would you do that? And and what's it called? Mr. Rochester is just like, I'm in love with you. And Jane is just like, you are literally old as fuck. Get away from me. And they have some tension. Because of course they do. And this is why I don't really like the book that much in terms of just, like, the relationship. Because I was just, like, banging my head against a wall. Because Jane would literally get berated for literally nothing. And, like, she keeps having, like, these dreams of, like, the, like, a building being on fire and stuff. And until it actually does become on fire. And fucking Jane Eyre is burning up. And her room is, like I think it was, like, Mr. Rochester's room was, like, burning or something, right? And we don't know about this. But Mr. Rochester has a secret wife. And it gets revealed because no, hold the phone. Mr. Rochester proposes to Jane, and they get married, like, the next day or some shit, right? Until Mr. Rochester is revealed to have a second wife. And his wife's brother confronts Mr. Rochester. And he's like, did you know, Jane Eyre, that fucking your soon-to-be husband has a secret wife, Bertha Mason, which is the only name I memorized besides Jane. And what's it fucking called? Jane is just like, what? She's, like, so confused. And Mr. Rochester, he crashes out. And so he takes everyone, even the priest, like the whole shebang. And he's just like, fine, you're 10 years, 16 years too late. And he throws the flowers back at Adele, you know, because she's, like, the flower girl. And because Grace Poole is apparently looking over Bertha Mason. And so Mr. Rochester, he pulls up to the attic and he's just like, here's my psychotic bitch wife whom I hate. And it's literally just a random girl. And she's, like, mentally ill. And Mr. Rochester is, like, talking shit about his ex-wife, Bertha. And Jane is just like, she's beautiful. Like it's so crazy how, like, she, like, all she commented is just, like, her hair was, like, a little frizzy or whatever. And my favorite part is the fact that Jane, like, leaves the next day. Jane is tired of this shit, bro. And she leaves. She almost dies halfway through the book. She almost fucking dies because she's, like, walking in the rain because she doesn't want to take breaks. And she's walking through, like, this field during the rain, by the way, until she reaches, like, a cottage. And then she finds, like, these two sisters that take her in. And somehow we learn that these two sisters are Jane Eyre's cousins on her father's side. So this is the Eyres. This is the Eyre side of the family. And so they all get together, and walks in her other cousin, John Eyre. What's it called when it's, like, a pastor? But I was going to say sergeant. But, like, this is Sir John Eyre. Because I forgot the actual priest's name. But just imagine that he's a priest. Or, like, something or other. So, John Eyre has this crush on this girl named Olivia, who's, like, rich as fuck, lives in a mansion across the pond. And he's just like, bro, she's so beautiful. Like, every time I teach the kids, like, she's always there with me, bro. Like, that's my soulmate. And, like, Jane Eyre, she's like, why don't you just talk to her? And he's just like, no, bro, like, she would never love me, bro. And John just makes up so many fucking excuses to not talk to the girl, even though she's clearly into him. Because apparently he's like a handsome character. So they're clearly into him. So I don't know why he doesn't even try. And so, but okay, whatever. And she loses interest because, of course she does, because he's not giving her anything. Like, of course she's going to remarry. She's going to look somewhere else because she's not getting what she wants. And so, John Eyre, he's just like, okay, I want to move to India because I'm going to help the people in India and turn them into Christians, even though, okay, because this is Queen Victoria's era, and whatever. And he asked Jane, like, will you come to India with me as my wife? Because you would make a great wife. What? Like, this guy is so fucking weird. First with the India thing. Okay. Ugh. Ick. And second with the cousin thing. What? Why would you marry your fucking... Like, I get it. It was normal for, like, a Regency era or, like, a Victorian era. But, like, still, it's just such a weird... Like, even the book thinks it's weird. Because it is. It's such a strange, like, concept that he just ended up with. Because, he like, Olivia didn't want to, like, bang him anymore. And so Jane obviously is just like, no, absolutely not. And then she gets the fuck out of Dodge. But apparently she learns that, like, her what's it fucking called? Her uncle, I think he was in India or the Caribbean. It was either India or the Caribbean. I think it was the Caribbean though. And he left Jane a shit ton of money, like a lot of money. I think it's like millions and millions. And then Jane is just like, oh shit, like I'm an heiress, bro. Like I am, I am in it. And so she goes back to Mr. Rochester. She goes back to fucking Mr. Rochester, bro. This is why, like, in the book, I was so pissed off. She goes back to him, bro. Hello? Pissed me the fuck off. And so... See, this is what I hate about Victorian literature, because you can tell they rage bait. Because in the end, she ends up with fucking Mr. Rochester, even though apparently he got into a fight with Bertha or whatever, and so now he's like blind in his eyes, and because of a fire that she started, and she died in the middle of it, because of course she did, and then we have to feel sorry for Mr. Rochester. And I think he sent Adele away to, like, a fucking boarding school in France, which she comes back literally malnourished, which is, like, hello? And, what's it called? And in the end, they end up together. And so that's Jane Eyre. That's my recap of Jane Eyre, because that's the most bullshit story I've ever heard in my life. First of all, she didn't even get to pick her wedding dress. Mr. Rochester was fitting that shit on her. Hello? No, she shouldn't know. No, like, okay. I fucking hated the ending to this book. You know, the iconic reader, I Married Him. Oh my god, it made me want to kill myself. But it did inspire David, so maybe it's just peak. Maybe it's just amazing. But yeah, David was inspired mostly by Mr. Rochester because of his, like, low curriculumly, just, like, never taking accountability sort of way, and, like, that creepy attic shit he had going on. But, like, I started reading a lot of classic literature just for funsies. My favorite book overall is Jane Eyre. I really do like Pride and Prejudice, but I started also reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because, of course, for research purposes. I also read Frankenstein for research purposes because I love David Organa. I love David so bad, but, like, he is such a freak, bro. He is such a fucking idiot. How do you fumble Mira Organa, bro? How do you fumble? And I was so pissed off the entire time. And whatever. It's fine. Fumble who you want, David Organa. Fumble who you want. And I would say Kim was No, Mira was inspired by fucking Jane Eyre, bro. Because Jane Eyre has the worst fucking luck ever. I didn't even mention the part where she went back to her family. I didn't even mention that part. She goes back to, like, her... I forgot which... I think when she gets the money back, and then she just goes back to, like, her... Because this is Mrs. Reed. She goes back to Mrs. Reed, who is her aunt. And she learns that, like, her cousins are low-key just broke now because John Eyre... or John Reed, if you remember, spent all his money gambling and, like, prostitution, because of course he did, and the family is now broke, and she's just like, that's cool, and then her aunt dies, and I forgot what happens after. I think she just chills in London for, like, the rest of the the story, the rest of, like, that arc, and then she goes back to Mr. Rochester. But you know what is another classic, chat? Fan fiction. Yes, bitch, we're talking about fan fiction. Because fan fictions are just classical literature. The Iliad was a fan fiction. The Odyssey was a fan fiction. Hell, even the Heat Waves was a hyperfixation. I mean, a fan fiction. Never mind, sorry. It's a Freudian slip. Fan fiction is an integral part of our society. I think fucking... I was gonna say Daniel's Inferno. What's his fucking name? It was written by Dan Brown, right? Am I crazy? No, it was written by who? Dante's Inferno. My fucking idiot self. I keep thinking of the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. I'm thinking of that, not the fucking Dante's Inferno. But yeah, classical literature is an integral part of my life because I #love my little literature moments. But I was reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I was lucky into it. I read The Picture of Dorian Gray, which I think is kind of similar, and I really like The Picture of Dorian Gray more. I feel like it's more, like, to my liking. It has some doom yowie in it, which I wasn't expecting for The Picture of Dorian Gray. I thought it was going to be more focused on, like, the Dorian Gray, but I was pleasantly surprised. And what else have I read so far? I've read a lot of fan fiction pertaining to Secret History. That is something I will put on the internet. The Secret History is a book written by Donna Tartt. It's one of the greatest books ever, even though it has some weird tones, but it's still pretty good, I think. I think it's still like a classic Princess Peach piece of, like, modern classic literature. I love Donna Tartt so bad. I need to read The Goldfinch because for research for David again. Like, okay, I research a lot. You guys have to grab me away from my books because I love to research. My favorite book ever, I think it would be Jane Eyre. I think it's something I can, like, recollect and like recap. It's so amazing. I really love the whole book. But I think that just might be our time. Thank you for listening to me talk about Jane Eyre and books. And you'll just see me another time. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye.